Welcome, Taurus. This is Eleanor with Peaches by Starlight Tarot, here with your October 2022 tarot reading. So I wanted to start off with your monthly theme. You have live from your heart and peace. And the back of this, it says, when we balance silence with activity, we discover true peace of mind, the source of all joy and happiness. And so the first thing I noticed with this was all of this green for heart-centered experience. So it's giving and receiving love, and it's love in everything you do, not just reserved for romantic love, although that's kind of what I'm seeing here. But there's a sense of dropping into the heart, away from overthinking and analyzing. But at the same time, there's an allowance for more clear thought as well. But it's like there's nothing that you have to work hard to think for. The thoughts are just going to come more clearly and unobstructed. So you're investing emotionally in your pursuits or following your heart in your choice making. There's a relief from a past cognitive dissonance that arose from, I'm going to say, overruling or betraying your heart's desire at one point in your past. So you're glowing and you're radiating warmth and you're drawing people in. It's like your energy is shelter from the rain for someone or people, but you don't have to give it, you just be it. Your presence is so quiet here in October. And by acting on your heart's guidance, you're generating a protective force field. So, and that'll come into play here, that needing that protective force field around yourself. And the heart, it can see what your eyes and your brain don't, and it can navigate you through the obstacle course of life, like kind of like a self-driving car. So in your first row, you have the good stuff coming in. So you have the Six of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the King of Swords. And with that, I do see a loving partnership coming in or coming back for some of you, but only a few of you, it's a childhood sweetheart. But for most of you, it's new, but it's pure at the same time. It's kind and open and easy, almost the way a first love might be. If you aren't interested in love or are already happily partnered, there is a really cool thing happening here where what's in this peace card is happening exactly. It's this balance of will and intellect bringing you back into center. And this living from your heart card and the Six of Cups, they match energies. So it's showing all of your actions, your motivation originating from a place of self-love and a place of unconditional love. And having that as your living, fiery, molten core, it provides an environment for your mind to find safety and to actually have room to work better, smarter, not harder. So it's like, have you ever noticed how hard it is to read fine print or retain information? It's so hard to learn when you're stressed or when you're angry or when you're feeling rejected or unloved. So a peaceful mind just thinks and processes information more effectively in a certain Goldilocks climate, an emotional climate. I should say a peaceful mind elevates. No, it develops in a love-rich environment. That's still not it. Your mind just works better when you feel loved and when your actions arise from a loving intention. It's that simple. And that loving, that peaceful, kind, grace-filled energy, it's coming in for you. And the happy result is that you are going to feel more like you have your head screwed on straight. So for the tough stuff, you have the Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, and the Emperor. So I keep getting pulled back to that original feeling I had that this is relationship stuff, because there's a sense of wanting to go from childhood innocence to happily ever after, and there's a gatekeeper, there's a process. The Ten of Cups fulfillment, it does not happen without loss or lessons. It has no meaning or value without the kind of pain. This is the end of a cycle. It's the end of a process that you come to. It's not, you don't go to point A to point Z. It just doesn't work that way, because it's not a matter of like, that's the rules or that's the law or it just has to be. This comes from that. It is the totality of your emotional experience. It doesn't grow into this without all of that. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm having trouble articulating it. Anyway, that's why it's a rarity for people to actually live from their heart the way that you're learning to here. Because to live from a heart-centered life without leaving yourself open to so much hurt and buildup of blockages to your 10 of Cups that you can never even achieve it, you have to stay in your authority. You have to strengthen your self-love. And they're showing a challenge of being vulnerable, of wanting it all without having to tap into your strength, to allow the vulnerability necessary to get there. Vulnerability that is possible when you remain in your power. It's such a delicate dance to achieve that type of openness. And the advice row will hopefully help with that, but it's a challenge to own your perceived flaws or mistakes so that no one can use them against you, to like yourself enough not to be destroyed when someone doesn't like you. And it's like there's no external gatekeeper. This isn't a person. It's just a challenging process by which total emotional fulfillment distills and ferments like grapes into wine. It's like, maybe that's another way to say what I was trying to say earlier, that, you know, you don't just squeeze the wine right out of the grape from the vine. It's a whole thing. Wine doesn't exist in nature. I don't know. It's coming through so weird. I'm sorry. Your advice is the Seven of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and Temperance. So this happiness, it is a seed that you're planting and you're nurturing, and it's not going to thrive and grow without the occasional pruning. Some things will have to be cut off and surrendered and released, and proper nourishment, combination of rain and sun, metaphorically speaking. I feel like I said Goldilocks earlier in the reading because that word is coming up again here. They're calling on you to be brave enough to trust, brave enough to act, and at the same time to not act when you're triggered. And they're saying this 10 of Cups is coming. They're saying it's coming, and that you've planted the seed years and years ago. It has the energy of a frozen embryo, and now it's time to warm it up and give it what it needs to grow into a life. Maybe not literally, but that is an image I'm getting, which is funny because I was saying something about the love-filled environment, like a substrate or a matrix in which something can grow. And that's coming through here again. Anyway, in some cases, like I said at the beginning, an old connection is getting new life, but you can't just pick up where you left off. They're saying you're not kids anymore. That's what I keep hearing. You're not kids anymore. It's going to need TLC. It's going to need patience. It's going to need courage. Really importantly, the audacity to be yourself. And also there's a balancing of silence and activity, just like it says here. A level head leading, but not eclipsing your passion. You have to allow this. Just like a fire that's trying to grow, you can't have the logs too close together. There has to be some space for the oxygen to draw in the heat and to ignite. So definitely not overthinking. The King of Swords doesn't torture facts, doesn't think that hard. It's kind of just the thoughts will be smooth and clear without having to reach too hard or calculate too hard to find what you need to know. So these two cards, they show like a push and observe, a back and a forth, and they're saying to combine the two, kind of like soda pop. The fizz. It feels effervescent. Loving every minute of it and finding intense pleasure in living it, because what you're realizing is that what you were waiting for is actually underway now. So that's what I have for you, Taurus. And if it helped in any way, let me know by hitting that like button, and I'll talk to you in November. Thank you.